Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Essence Janay, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys a your skin but better makeup routine. Now this video not only shows you how to get flawless makeup as you see that I have on now, but it also goes to prove a point that you do not need to spend a heavy coin on makeup products to achieve this. Drugstore products work just as well, if not better, than these high-end products that are out on the market right now. And that's not to say that I don't love any prestige products, but for those of you who are shopping more so on a budget, this video is definitely for you. If you guys are interested in getting all the details on today's look, definitely keep on watching. Before we begin, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell notification on, especially if you love the content that I am providing here on my channel. And with all of that, grab your makeup brushes, snack, water, coffee, tea, whatever it is that suits you, and let's get straight into it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with priming my skin. Now I do have lashes on, which means we are not going to be doing any eyeshadow in today's video because I want the focus to be on the skin. Of course, my brows are done as they always are, and my skincare has already been applied a couple of hours ago. So it's been sitting for quite some time, and now it's time to move into the makeup portion. So for primer, I'm just going to use this one from Smashbox. This is the Love Ritual Primer. Now I could not find my Wet n Wild 3-in-1 primer spray, which would have been perfect for today's look, but because I could not find that, I did go with a prestige option, and this was my choice. So I'm just going to spritz my face very lightly with this, or maybe not so lightly, but just kind of drench it in the product, because we want to rehydrate the skin and just make sure it's nice and ready for the rest of the products that we're going to put on. Before we move into foundation, I do want to apply what I would consider to be somewhat of a color corrector, just a little underneath my eyes, because I really want a bright under eye. Not too bright to where it doesn't look natural, but bright enough where it's a little bit more than what my natural under eye is giving. So Milani just recently released this Supercharged under eye tint. This is their brightening under eye tint, and I have the shade 120, which is peach. I know they have a deep peach and one above this. I didn't go for the deep peach because that tends to run a little too orange, and I don't want that. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit on the back of my hand, just a little dot, and I'm gonna go in with my finger of all things. I'm just going to tap this underneath my eye just to try and brighten up this area a little bit and basically kind of color correct. To me, this product is like a 2-in-1. It's a color corrector, but it's also like a skincare product. Feels really nice underneath the eyes and lightweight. So I'm just going to tap this on very gently because you want to be very gentle with your under eye area. Moving into foundation, I'm going to be using a CC cream instead of an actual foundation. To me, it's more skin-like, especially this one right here from e.l.f. So this is the one I'm going to go in with. This is the e.l.f. Camo CC cream, and this one is in medium 330W. I do have a whole review video on this product, which I will have linked in the description box for you guys to check out, just in case you have not seen it. But this is so beautiful and skin-like on the skin. It's insane. So I'm just going to apply this, and I'm using my Morphe E63 brush that I received not too long ago, or purchased not too long ago from Ulta when I tested out their new Morphe foundation, which if I have not even talked about that yet, I definitely will. What am I talking about? I did that in my last video. So if you want to see that review as well, you can definitely check out my last video. So as you guys can see, it gives a nice, good coverage to the skin without being too much, and it still looks very much skin-like. I do have a couple blemishes peeking through, but the coverage overall with this product is really, really on point. So now I'm going to jump into concealer, and I'm going to use the e.l.f. concealer. This is the Camo concealer, which is their original formula, and I'm just going to place this, underneath my eyes and everywhere else that I like to conceal. My main purpose for using this concealer is because it is so full coverage, and let's say there is a spot on your face where the product of the foundation or the CC cream or whatever it is that you're using didn't quite cover, you can definitely go on top with a little bit of full coverage concealer just to give extra coverage. But overall, I really like the thought of using a full coverage concealer with a product that is maybe a little bit more sheer or medium buildable coverage. Unlike other concealers, I can't necessarily let this one dry because if it does, it's going to be really hard to blend out. So I'm going to use my Real Techniques sponge and just start tapping this concealer in and blending it in. Now that our foundation and concealer have been applied, normally I would jump into cream contour, but I'm going to be skipping that today because I feel like it can come off a little too harsh sometimes. So today we're just going to skip that step altogether and go straight into powdering our face. And for today's powder, I'm going to be using this one from Beauty Bakery. This is their flour powder, and it is pretty translucent, but it also has a little bit of brightening properties. So I'm just going to concentrate this underneath my eyes as well as my T-zone. Now we need to just set all of this powder down before we move on with the rest of the face. And to do that, I'm using, as no surprise, the ColourPop Setting Mist. You know, at this point, I think all setting sprays need to be mists and not sprays, because they just lay on the skin so much nicer. But using a little bit of this will just help melt everything down. And I'm going to use my fan to kind of speed this up. For bronzer today, I decided just to minimize it to one palette and one palette only. So I'm going to be using this one from Physicians Formula. This is no stranger to my channel. I think the bronzer, blush, and highlight in this palette are very, very beautiful and phenomenal. You have two options with the bronzers as well as two options with the blushes. And unfortunately, I only have one option for the highlighter, but that's fine with me because this is the one that I do like the most. So we're going to start with bronzing the skin. And for that, I'm going to use the lighter bronzer, which is the Sunset bronzer in the palette, just because I don't want anything too intense, but I still want a nice natural kind of glow going on to the skin. So it's just very, very light in formula, but it blends like a dream. For blush, I'm going to use a little bit of Wild Child and just a tap of this one at the top, which is called Apricot, and just pop that on my cheeks. And then finally, for highlight, I'm just going to put a little bit of Golden Hour on the highest points of my cheeks as well as my T-zone. As a final touch, if you will, I'm going to take a little bit more of that highlighter and I'm going to pop this in my inner corner. Although we don't have any shadow on, I do want to bring a little bit of light and attention to the inner corner of my eye, just to open it up a little bit more instead of having it being closed in. So just a small amount, just really adds a nice little pop of something. And then take it on my brow bone as well. So I went ahead and popped on mascara on my lower lash line as well as my waterline color, which I used my favorite, which is the LA Girl nude lip liner, but you guys know I like to use it for my waterline. Nothing new here. So now onto the lips. For something like this, I like to keep it super simple, so I definitely lean towards a gloss. I really don't see the purpose of putting on an actual lipstick unless it was nude, but today we're definitely going with gloss. So I'm going to use this one from Maybelline, the Lifter Gloss in Ice, which is 002. It's very natural, you know, there's really no color at all to it. It does look a little pink in the tube, but you really don't get too much pink on your lips. And then finally, to set the rest of the face, I'm going to use the ColourPop Setting Mist, which you guys know I'm obsessed with. So I'm just going to spray my face very, very generously with this. Alright beauties, so this here is the finished and final look. You guys can let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I feel like today's video truly made a statement. You really do not need to spend a lot of money to get a flawless look like this that just makes you look good and feel good. Everything I used today, with the exception of one product, was in fact drugstore, and that says a lot, not just about me or my makeup skills for that matter, but about the drugstore. You know, you can go out there and find affordable products that work twice as good, if not even better, than prestige products. With all of that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel before you leave, as well as clicking the bell notification so you can be notified every single time that I upload. With all of that, I am going to close out today's video here. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you all in my next upload.